Jay here for Stretford, Paddock. That's Abdullah. Manchester United 1, Luton Town 0. One of the best games I think we've seen in decades at United. An epic win over the mighty Luton, which pretty much guarantees title number 21, I think, for Manchester United. Yeah. Safe to say?
I feel like I'm in a simulation when you say that. Like,
mate, listen, it wasn't a great performance.
Like, I was in a bit of a snapshot of how it should be
it should be in the real world, in the future. It wasn't a great game, but United got the 3 points. We're going to get into it. Get involved in the comments in the chat. Let us know what you think, who you think played well, who you think didn't, where this leaves United. We've obviously got an international break now. We're up to 6th at the moment. I don't know how long that's going to last for, but the main thing for me today, Abdullah, was getting that win. Because I think if we'd have lost today, and it's a big if, but if we had, I think Erik ten Hag would have been in serious trouble, because especially with new owners coming in, or a new part owner coming in, a new management team seemingly on the horizon, if you're coming into a club and you've got a manager who's just overseen what would have been our 6th defeat at home by November the 11th, then he would have been in serious trouble.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like, to be honest, now that I've calmed down after the game, we've just been complaining for like 90 minutes in it, watching that game. But, you know, looking at it, we did have plenty of chances in the first and second half, going back to, you know, the Highland chance in that first half, then the Garnacho chance as well in that half, then Marcus Rashford in the second half. So, you know, we should have done much better with that game. But going to your point, you know, about Ten Hag and the pressure that he's going to face, I feel like Erik ten Hag would have been under massive pressure over that international break had we not even got the win. Like, even if it was a draw, it would have been a struggle over this international break. So never mind, you know, getting a loss, I think you would have heard shouts of sackings and stuff like that. But obviously we know with what the club's going through now in terms of behind the scenes with the takeover and stuff, the manager's position's almost safe no matter what for this current stage, because, you know, with people taking over and supposedly they're going to be making the football decisions, you know, with Sir Jim Minios and stuff coming in, and, you know, maybe having someone like Paul Mitchell in the mix there, you know, those are the people that are going to make the decisions for Manchester United. So, you know, no matter how bad it got in this period, the manager was never going to move. But I think it's just good for Man United that we got the result. My issue is with today is we did create chances. We should have won with 3 or 4 goals. There is no doubt about that. But for me, it's the general feel of the game. We just don't feel like we're performing at a top elite level side. Top elite level that a top side should be playing at. You know, you look at Man United, there's no sense of like patterns or urgency in the way we play. Sometimes it's too laboured. I mean, yes, we created a few chances, but nothing comes off like a specific sort of way of creating. Everything's too like freestylish in a way where it's like sometimes it's a ball over the top, sometimes a ball. And I understand you do need different ways of creating, but I don't look at this Manchester United team now and just think I can't put my finger on a certain way that we consistently create. Earlier in the show, earlier in the live stream, I said that, looking at the Copenhagen goal, the first one we score, where it's like goes to, Marcus Rashford on the right, then to Wan-Bissaka does well into McTominay and across into Højlund, and that's the type of goal we should be scoring week in, week out. Today the ball ends up in the box and Lindelof puts it away, but to be fair, even before that we had a lot of chances, like I said. But Manchester United, they need to be ripping teams like this apart. Forget, even if without the chances being put away, we should be leaving games like today against Luton at Old Trafford with 10 chances.
Yeah.
10 clear chances. We should be, constantly onto them, constantly pressurising their box. Second half, we've seen a few openings where Reguilon made a run or two and Marcus caught him. Yeah. Obviously, Bruno should have done better with that chance as well. Scotty didn't get his goal. Marcus missing that chance. He needed that. Anthony does well coming across, I think, with the ball. Something that he needs to do more of. The way he set Marcus Rashford up for that chance, where he comes into the centre and lays him there. Marcus, I think, should have laid him, should have took a touch onto his left foot and just hit it across. Or should have, once he set it on his right foot, should have just gone powered, low, into the near post. But he just seems shot with confidence right now. and a lot of noise obviously around him with the with the red card and stuff in the middle of the week, which is obviously an unfortunate situation. He's not scored a lot of goals this season, so yeah, he needed that moment. But overall, still the same problems that you can point at. I thought if we're looking at the standout players this game, Harry Maguire, don't know if anyone will agree with me in the comments, but I thought he's probably our best player.
Yeah, I think a few people are saying that in the comments. A few people have said Harry Maguire played well. Martian says there's still no replay of those fouls on Maguire, which VAR even checks. Is it really incompetence or is it actually dishonesty and corruption? 20 Legend says every team in the Premier League has money, facilities, academy, coaching. All of them have money. Sam Z says if Radcliffe clears out the football department by the end of the season, don't see why he'd stick with Ten Hag or buy Ten Hag with these performances. We'll view him as Glazer's guy. Danny says 16 players out, playing awful, anti-United bias, demanding Ten Hag out, yet 6 points off top. United fans need to stop fueling media agenda, getting United clicks. 2 more injuries today, Ericsson and Hoyland, says Benjamin. Which it wasn't great to see. Benjamin also says ultimately the players we have aren't good enough. Jake in the box says this week will be really good if we see the news about the takeover. Danny says we missed 4 open goals, should have been 5-0. I mean, there is that argument as well in the about the chances and the fact that 1-0 against Luton at home is pretty drab, unimpressive, and certainly not anything you're going to be remembered from 10 years from now or whenever, or even probably next month. But it could have been a lot more. Marcus had a decent chance. Hoyland had a decent chance. McTominay had a decent chance. I've not seen the XG yet. We'll try and find it. But
Garnacho in the first half.
Garnacho had in the first half. It could have been 4 or 5-0 if we'd have taken our chances, because those were good chances.
I think it's more than that. So people that are being dramatic and saying, yeah, we were shocking, we were poor, we're still bad to watch. I think it's just people that are running off the run that we've had this season, the run of form, and they're just almost relaying that. My biggest problem, you've got to look at Manchester United as a whole, outside of just having the moments and creating chances. And I never watch us and feel like the chances we created were good, but I don't feel like we're just absolutely hounding their box, with underlaps and overlaps and getting into the area more and really, pushing Luton to the max. I felt like we did get good chances, but the chances sort of just happened. It's pretty poor analysis saying it just happened, but it genuinely feels there is no rhythm. Yeah. There is no pattern of consistently exposing a certain weakness in a side or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Or a certain combination or a pass that works for us right now. We had the previous periods where it was, a few years ago with Martial and Marcus Rashford, then, Bruno, Marcus Rashford, stuff like that. Right now, Man United, I can't put my finger on what's going to be sort of Manchester United's, outlet further up the pitch. We've seen it work for Hoyland in Europe where there's a bit more space and we can break on teams. But in the Premier League right now, we are struggling. So I do understand the concerns, but then I also don't understand people being harsh. Manchester United need to have more authority in games like today. Really give it to teams. I know the players will take the blame for missing the chances, but the football needs to be better. From Manchester United and Erik Ten Hag, there is no excuse for that. It needs to be better.
No, I agree. The XG for United was 2.21, so it's not quite, from what I've seen anyway. And
it's still pretty up there.
Yeah, for Luton it was 0.45. So again, when you look at it like that, it's a win that United deserved. I don't think there's any question about were United the better team. Yes, we were. You'd expect us to be the better team at home to a Luton side that are struggling. Getting into some of the comments, Capri says 1 billion in debt. Danny Quinn says we've won 4 out of the last 5, the only team that did that so far. Boss, has anyone been 6 and on -3 goal difference? That's a good question. Jamie Moynihan says beating Luton at home by just 1 goal, have to be better all round. Lucky we were playing Luton. Jay and Joe's adopted son Benjamin says really positive game for me. You can't go from shit form to perfect in 1 game. Abhinav Verma says there's a lack of confidence that is running through this team. It isn't down in tools. It's that players need external help, maybe from a club psychologist. Sam Architects, good to see Sam in there, said, lads, a win's a win, and we've not been able to play our best 11 all season due to injuries. 4 wins out of the last 5 Premier League games, and Eric being the first manager to win 30 out of 50 games. I think he's got there quicker than the likes of Klopp and I think a few managers actually. I saw a stat there in terms of the amount of games it's taken him to get to wins. Because the funny thing with United is we don't tend to draw under Eric Ten Hag. It's very rare we draw.
Yeah,
we either lose or we win. Yeah. So whilst it's not been great in terms of this season, he has had a lot of wins. We'll get some quotes as well. I think there's some quotes doing the rounds. So we'll get all the post-match quotes as well coming up, because we're going to be in from the manager and one of the players as well. So let us know what you think anyway, because it seems to be a bit of a mixed bag. Some people saying it's not good enough. United should be battering teams. Luton at home is pretty poor. But others saying, look, a win's a win. We deserve the win. 4 wins out of 5 in the Premier League. It's not that drastic. I'm somewhere in the middle where I didn't enjoy what I watched today in terms of the first 45 minutes in particular. I don't think it was entertaining. It was great. But the main thing, like I said before kickoff, was to get that win. Going into the international break now with, say, a little confidence from a win, but going into the international break without it being dramatic or any problems or any anxiety, because it's like, had we not won today, you're going into this international break on a complete downer.
Yeah, exactly that. I think the biggest thing is going into international breaks with a downer. You're coming back, the pressure's higher. You got all this takeover noise. It's just taking away the noise from Manchester United slightly to just make sure that we sort of get this win in the bag. Obviously, Eric Ten Hag won't even be in the dugout when we're back. What's our next game when we're first back?
Is it the next game when we're back? Everton. So, yeah, he's got a match ban because he's got 3 yellow cards.
So, again, that's an opportunity for Manchester United to, get a win there. Everton I think they got, they won 3-2 today against Palace. They sort of started to get their shit together. But still, that's a team that I should be looking at and eyeing up. Injuries are going to be a massive, massive concern, but we'll have to see.
No, I agree. They are going to be a concern. We'll have to see. Like you were saying, he's not had his best team yet. People have been saying in the comments, it's easy to sort of forget that. It's easy to just dismiss that. But Lisandro Martinez, for me, is such a big player for Eric Ten Hag and his team. Like, he's probably our most important player. I know it sounds a bit dramatic, but he is, in terms of getting hold of that ball from the goalkeeper and playing it forward and bringing it out of defence, and also marshalling the defence and just the motivation he gives to those around him, the organisation. He's integral. That's why Eric Ten Hag made him his first big signing. Yeah. It was because he knew how important he would be, and he has been important. So to lose him and to lose Luke Shaw, which has a knock-on effect, not only are you losing one of the best left-backs in the league, but also that's had a knock-on effect on Marcus Rashford. So Marcus Rashford's games deserted him because when he was playing alongside Luke Shaw, he was absolutely flying. That has, it's a big blow to the to the team. You can't just ignore that, can you?
No, of course, them things that you can't ignore. And I think even Sabitzer in a recent interview, when he was speaking about his time at Man United, did talk about the importance of Lisandro Martinez and Luke Shaw within the build-up and within the style. And I think sometimes you look at City and Arsenal and teams like that and Liverpool, when a certain player comes out of the team, you could really feel it. When 1 or 2 players are out of the team, you could actually see the impact of it. So never mind already having an unsettled side with problems and stuff like that. So obviously just being, 7 points off the top, I know teams have still got to play. Just getting up there, do you know what I mean? Like still being in and around the top 4 while we're unsettled. If we actually can end up turning around it at the end of the season, you might look back at it and say, you know what, within this rough patch, we still managed to make sure that we have a run where we've grabbed some points. But yeah, it's going to be tough coming back from the international break.
Vincent Lindelof, got some quotes for Vincent Lindelof, says, I don't score a lot of goals, but it's always nice to help the team. And today I was the one who scored the winning goal. He also says it's about getting the results. We need to stick together and do our thing. Hopefully we can play better in the future as well. PJ in the super chat says, after 1.5 years, the only tactics I saw was long ball to the wingers. I may as well support Stoke. Oh dear. Marcus C says title charging coming. Also, yeah, I think a few people not getting that there may have been a hint of sarcasm in the title and the thumbnail that we've gone with. Grassroots Football said Rashford could have had an assist, to be fair. So also Lollipop says, yeah, live VAR pool. Drew with this lot. Lol. Harry was not that bad, to be honest, says Jay and Joe's adopted son, Benjamin. I'm going to leave it there. Abdullah, where can people find you?
AbdulGH_ on Twitter.
Go and check Abdullah out. Make sure you are hitting like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget as well, we've got Andy Tate's reaction and Stephen Howson's later on today. So subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on all the latest or all the new post-match reaction. United getting over the line against Luton. It's a win. It's 4 wins in the Premier League out of 5. We're up to the dizzy heights of 6. Got the international break. We come back from there and hopefully we storm to the top of the table and make it title number 21. That's been Abdullah. I've been Jay. Thanks for watching.